Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our first NBC Bank weekend preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout southeast Louisiana and into the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Standing in front of the Saints and Pelicans facility, and that's where the news starts today because the Saints have made another bold move, deciding to cut their ties with Brandon Browner. This was a marriage made in hell, Lenny. Unfortunately, this guy was a square peg in a round hole. He did not fit what they were asking him to do. He's long in the tooth. He led the league in penalties. He just couldn't cover anybody in space. It's unfortunate. They tried, they failed, and they cut the cord.
Yeah, now this won't be official for a while yet. The league year doesn't start until March 9th, but obviously the Saints have told Browner what they're doing. Browner saying as much on Twitter and Instagram Friday morning. You can read the full story about it at SportsNOLA.com of the full impact of what this means. But the net result is a couple of things. One, like you say, you're taking something away that simply didn't work this year. And secondly, it's going to be a cap savings for 2016. Even though there was some, his salary was fully guaranteed for 2016 based on the contract he signed, it's still going to be a cap savings of nearly $1 million.
Yeah, dead money, though, of course, and that continues to rise where the Saints are concerned. They've got a whole bunch of that. It's kind of like the national debt.
Something like that. But, the Saints will now be in the vicinity of $20 million in dead money against the 2016 cap. The large majority of that, of course, is that unfortunate Junior Gillette deal, which is about $12 million of it, but Browner's dead money will be about $5 million of it.
Well, kudos to the Saints in this regard. They have shown a tendency not to stick with their mistakes. If they make a mistake, they will admit it and they will move on. It doesn't make it any easier or absorb the pain any easier, but it is a commendable thing to do because some people do hold on to mistakes longer than they should. The New Orleans Pelicans, the news there is bad as well. I don't know what the word is to describe. Disappointing, bad, unacceptable. To lose to the worst team in the Western Conference, not once but twice, in a matter of a couple of weeks. And this time at home, it's just basically inexcusable, Lenny. This is not a playoff team.
No, it's simply not, and I think it's becoming more and more evident. Look, the two games earlier this week against Memphis, against San Antonio, that's two very good teams. Losses there, you chalk them up to the other side is better. What happened on Thursday night in the Smoothie King Center, which was almost a de facto road game for the Pelicans, I might add, is it's not what you should be seeing out of a team with this kind of talent level. And I mean, Kobe Bryant put on a show. The guy's retiring. He's, and look, like I said, the Pelicans were wearing purple. It's Mardi Gras season. The Lakers were in their home gold, and it's exactly what it looked like. It looked like a Lakers home game, just based on the crowd reaction that you heard all night long.
Monty Williams used to lament the fact that there were so many Lakers fans in the stands when they played here, but the answer to that's real simple: win. And there'll be your fans in the stands, not theirs. I'm quite sure that when the Lakers go to San Antonio, it's a bunch of Spurs fans, not Lakers fans, because of the success that they've had.
Well, not to take up for those fans, but let's not forget this. Kobe Bryant came into this league, oh, by the way, a draft pick of the old Charlotte Hornets before they came to town. He's been in the league longer than there's been a basketball team in New Orleans. So I'll at least give a pass for that, although you do have plenty of LeBron James fans in the stands when Cleveland comes to town, or whoever he happens to be playing for at that point comes to town.
And there are stars in this league, and they will draw fans, and get over it. It's all good. Speaking of basketball, LSU now second in the SEC position. Well, Mississippi State this weekend at home. Frankly, that's a game they should win and continue their upward trend, at least in conference play. I still think they need to do a lot of work to get into the NCAA tournament, but to be positioned second in the league, if they can solidify that, I think they'll be in good shape.
Let's update that. Tied for first, actually.
Yeah, lost to A&M, got beat. That's right, they lost to Vanderbilt badly, I might add, last night.
Look, Texas A&M was an underdog in that game. That's the beauty of college basketball. Ranked teams go on the road, play unranked teams. They're underdogs going in, so they lost, but it wasn't that much of a surprise. That's a tough place to play. You and I have both been in that building. That is a hard place for teams to play. It's a unique building. What amazed me is it's been, I think, 7 or 8 years since Vanderbilt beat a top 10 team at home. It seemed like it would happen all the time. That was a graveyard for ranked teams to be able to go over the years. But that said, you're right. There is still work to be done. The win over Auburn was good. A very beatable Mississippi State team. You got some key games coming up. You got South Carolina next week. That's, obviously a team that's going to be battling for a spot as well. So still a lot of work to be done. Just being tied for first at this point in the SEC doesn't matter. You're basically halfway through your conference season.
UNO on a win streak right now. Good for them. Tulane, unfortunately, still Tulane.
You know, what's unfortunate to me is what I saw in terms of a crowd last night.
Nobody there.
And you can't blame it on Mardi Gras, okay? I mean, I was there a long time ago. Now, granted, there were different teams coming in, and the team was playing a lot better. But I never saw a crowd like I saw last night.
It was terrible.
Yeah, and I tweeted out.
And for it to be on television, that really,
right.
I think, hits home in a big way, especially with Mr. Dannon and the people in charge of that athletic program now.
Right. And look, this is a team right now that is in last place in the league. And, maybe they will make a run here in the second half of the conference season, get a couple of wins somewhere to get out of the cellar. But you've already played South Florida, who was the other really bad team in this league, twice. Not going to be a lot of opportunities out there.
We encourage everybody to continue to go back and look at all of our National Recruiting Signing Day videos, as we have a slew of them up there from all over the metro area, North Shore to South Shore, West Bank to East Bank, river parishes, you name it, we got them. And you can enjoy those, as many people already have, at SportsNOLA.com. I think you will enjoy looking back. High school soccer playoffs underway. Check out my story at SportsNOLA.com for results and schedules. And, of course, the high school basketball season winding down, as well as the high school wrestling season with the state championships in wrestling in Bossier City next weekend. So, high school sports, at least we're getting back to talking about the games and not the other stuff, which unfortunately will continue to dominate the atmosphere.
Yeah, no doubt. It's not going away anytime soon. But look, let's get the focus back on the field. That's what we strive to do at SportsNOLA.com. Stay away from the courtrooms and the meetings and things like that. It's obviously an important part of news, and judging by what people are interested in. Yeah, a lot of people. If you haven't, check out Ed Daniels' story on the meeting that took place earlier this week with a lot of private schools perhaps looking to break away and form their own association. But it's all about the young men and women and the games that they play, and we're getting into a big time of year with playoffs and those winter sports.
Yeah, a lot of views. Check out Ed's story, Ron Bricato's story, my story from this past week. Pretty much covers it all. It's extensive coverage at SportsNOLA.com per usual. It's a beautiful day, so I think it's time for you and I to split.
I see what you did there.
Okay.
I see what you did there.
It's all good.
Yeah. It is a beautiful day. Yeah, it's
right.
good. Happy Mardi Gras, everybody. If that's
be safe.
Yeah, be safe out there on the routes. Enjoy. So many of our colleagues are taking part either on or off the floats this week. Please enjoy it.
And we'll be back at you on Monday to recap what's transpired this weekend, because there's a certain game taking place out on the West Coast in Northern California this weekend. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
what's it called?
Yeah, it's something super, I think. But another big story to follow. Don't forget Saturday evening Hall of Fame announcements. Good luck to Morton Anderson. Hope he gets in.
Yeah, and the same holds true for Ken Stabler and or Dick Stanfill. So follow that. Super Bowl, of course, Carolina and Denver, and Peyton Manning with maybe one last shot. The heart says Peyton, the head says Carolina. We'll see what transpires. I'm on record picking Carolina by 5 now. I made that decision this morning, 24-19, for what it's worth.
I'm going the other way. Just say you said it's your heart. Something in my gut tells me Denver's defense is going to do something to contain Cam Newton, and the Sheriff's going to find a way to win one last rodeo.
With all due respect to the Panthers, I hope you're right. He's Lenny, I'm Kenny. That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Preview, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout the metropolitan New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Have a great weekend, and God bless you.